Welcome, welcome, welcome to a special session of Philly by Night. Uh, Thank you all so much for coming out tonight. Tonight is a uh, Tremere, all Tremere session entitled Chantry's Haunted. If we'd like to, I'd like to take a moment and go around our table of players here, let them introduce themselves, and we can set the scene from there. So we will start with our dear beloved Mr. Islington.
Hello, I am Jeremiah McCoy, aka Basics Game, and I'm playing Jonathan Stanley Islington, Regent and Tremere Primogen.
I know the broadcast just ended on Twitch.
No, it's looking like it's up.
Okay. Then I will
Must have
continue.
been a minor glitch.
Yeah, it dropped
Okay.
for a second.
Never mind then. Hi guys, I'm AJ at AJ Cinematic on TikTok and some other social media platforms. I am playing Madeline Clark, the Bebe Twimil fledgling who's been embraced slightly over a month at this point and is the child of Islington.
Hi. I am Nico. I play Zero, who is just happy to be here. I'm Touch a Goblin wherever you need to find me. And Zero is one of the Ancilla who is at the Chantry.
And rounding things out, I am your ST for the evening, Einar. You can find me at Einar_TTRPG on the TikToks, the Twitters, anywhere else that I allow you to find me. So, Tremere. We have it's been a time. The war has officially ended. We are starting to settle back into the Chantry and recoup from our losses. And if I remember correctly, Islington, Mix LeClaire, and Zero found an interesting room not long ago. We were able to find some leavings from your former regent, one Shane Cormac Lynch. So we are going to start things off in the sitting room where everyone is beginning to gather at the behest of the regent, because there are some things that need to be gone over. Some areas of the Chantry that need to be searched methodically, carefully. And from here, I will turn the scene over to the rest of you.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to have all of you together. We obviously have work to do, but we should take a moment to appreciate a chance to all be in the same space for a change. For those of you who have not met her, this is Maddie. Maddie is my child.
Hi.
It is a pleasure to meet you.
I'm guessing you're Zero?
Yes, that is me.
It's not train. Or do you like trains? Is that why that's your
It,
name?
it was a thing that happened during one of our coterie meetings. That it's just something that I decided to pen myself as.
Oh, okay.
Of course, those of you who have not spent time with her before, this is Alma Yara. She is a magister and an old friend. well experienced and very knowledgeable in all things arcane, and particularly those matters revolving around botany.
Oh,
Good evening. It's a pleasure to meet you, Zero.
it's certainly a pleasure. I hope to work with you closely soon. Always. I don't know. We're all together, so I suppose we are working to. Anyway,
Whatever.
Um, of course, Cyrene, Madeline, this is Cyrene. You've met Alma, of course. And Cyrene is our
To
all.
you again, dear.
Yes, it is. Oh, nice to have you in the same Chantry again.
For context, Cyrene has come in at the very last possible moment, leaning against the door in the anti-establishment flannel, looking very much like, do I have to?
I think it's the first time Cyrene has seen Alma's scars.
She would have seen them not healed, but she was there the night that it.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
So
Uh,
now that everybody has met each other, Zero, I believe you had some issues you wanted to bring up.
sure. I thought we might sure. I mean, if sure. So something that Mix Leclerc and I stumbled upon with our last coterie meeting. Just something to keep eyes on. Um, if you come across a bright light type of ordeal, uh, Cyrene, how would you properly describe what we saw?
uh, mm, correct me if I'm wrong, Einar, but the best proclamation to it would be kind of like like a Stargate sort of construct, like a sort of archway kind of deal.
Think of it as a kind of a freestanding Stargate. The surface kind of had a iridescent shimmer to it. Very much reacted like water when you went through it. So yes, the portal, the multiversal portal, the multiversal portal that the
Yeah.
Ancilla went through.
That was the thing. Yeah, so Cyrene will describe it. It was kind of like an archway, but more of a portal, sort of shimmery, watery material in the middle, but glowed yellow. Strong gravitational field, by the way. Even if you were about 9 feet above it on the ceiling. Yeah.
I would say it has a lot of similarities to what you might find hellmouthish like. I wouldn't say it is like that, but it can, upon first looking at the situation, it could be misconstrued as that. I would say, if you see it, or if you hear, because it might have, it has a certain tone to it, like, Einar, was it like angelic screaming? How would you describe the
No,
sound?
it was more like a wheezing thrum, like somebody left the parking brake on the TARDIS.
That. So if you hear that or you start to see some things that Mix Leclerc reported, and please report it to like the regent or to a deputy or to a sheriff. Don't go near it, and it is a report if found, but don't actively go searching for it.
See, to review, you found a portal which reeked strongly of infernalism. You investigated it and fell in? Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, okay. Fell is such a strong word here. More like I was yoinked. That would be a better term for
At
this.
at least
Yoink.
two of you yeeted yourselves into the portal.
I dare say, did not yeet. I yoinked. I got yoinked. Okay? I want to clarify. 2 people got yeeted. I got yoinked.
When you say you were yoinked, was there a hand that reached out and grabbed you?
No, it was
Was one of your coterie members throwing you?
no.
Ooh, okay.
No, what was described was it did feel as though a force reached out, grabbed a hold of you, and pulled you in once you got within a certain proximity.
A gravitational pull.
Yes.
I see.
And then others joined us, whether through getting yoinked as well or by throwing themselves directly at it, including bringing a piece of wall with them. I wasn't entirely sure how that happened, but it arrived.
I see. And while you were through this possibly infernal portal, you saw what exactly?
So when we were through that portal, Mix Leclerc, it looks like you wanted to stop me, so feel free to.
Oh no, you were leading the charge admirably, Zero, and they reach down and scratch at the dog's ears that is sitting very calmly next to them. Continue.
I don't know why that felt passive aggressive, but I'll continue. When we went through the portal, we came out on the other side to a Philadelphia that was quite the same, though slightly different. I guess the best way to describe it would be an alternative reality. You know the theory about how there are an infinite amount of realities, and you are bound to always come across at least one because of how thin we are from one reality to another. I do believe that might have been a hole between the two walls that might have stopped us from one reality to another. We did come across a apparently someone who's supposed to be dead in this reality. His name is Ripjaw. And he was as surprised to see us as we were to see him. But with his help, we managed to find another one at the base of at least that reality's then true haven. Managed to get into the portal and come back here. So it was quite an adventure. I don't recommend it. And like I said, if you see one, don't get close to it and report it to the proper authorities.
Do we know who made this portal?
No. It was like Paradox, but not.
So, something more on the line of a horizon realm as described by the mages, yes?
Yes. Thank you, Einar. Yes.
Very good then.
Startlingly similar, actually, yes.
Well then, that would imply that we have mages to deal with in the city, and we should be aware of them. Often they are not a threat.
Yeah, that makes sense given what I found on that bank job.
I'm sorry, what?
Carry on, sorry, Mr. Regent Primogen, sir.
Mix it clear, huh? Please. Elucidate.
Yes, sir? Which part? The bank job or what I found during the bank job?
Zero's gonna lean over to Maddie. There's a lot of tension in this room, and I have no clue why.
You think I have answers?
No, I'm just a person in camaraderie.
And Maddie just kind of shrinks away from Zero because Zero's bringing more and more attention to her, and she does not want to start
Are
staring at
y'all?
her.
So,
Right.
Leclerc, I do recall you asking me for some advice on breaching the security in a bank once. I also recall reading in a newspaper not long after about the near destruction of a historical landmark that happened to be the first bank in North America.
What happened?
Would it be better or worse if I said that was not my part of the work group?
No.
I would like some explanation, please.
Oh, explanation. TLDR, we fought a war for this city, and part of it was doing a bank job where our group tunneled in, managed to get everything out of the vault that we were supposed to get it out of, managed to find some mage material that which we left there. And when, our job was to leave a message, i.e. blow up vault, it probably was destroyed in the vault. So
I see.
that's that.
You left.
The other work
You
group,
left-
however, decided that blowing up the vault as a message was not big enough or something. I don't know. You would have to talk.
You
Did
left
again on that one.
information to be destroyed.
That was his department.
Thank
It
you.
was a war 0.
Thank you for the information, Uncle Leclerc. I appreciate it. I have no judgment of what you did in the war. I was disconcerted to see, but I trust your judgment enough to know that you would not have willingly blown up a historic building as any operation you were a part of. So I believe you when you say the other group did it. I've known you long enough to know better of you. I trust you.
Yes, sir. And they go back to scratching at the dog's ears.
Can I insight Islington?
You know what? Go for it. And yes, your specialty will come into play.
Zero is very uncomfortable with the energy in this room.
Okay, wits.
And folks say the
Inside.
Ventru have angst.
I know.
I'm so confused.
Am I allowed to add heightened senses to this or no?
You know what? I'll allow it.
Okay.
Because sometimes there's such a thing as knowing too much.
All right, let's roll the 9 dice, including my specialty of insight, Islington. That is a legit specialty I did take.
Sure.
It is!
No, it is.
It is.
Amazing.
Well, my
It
dice pool
is.
didn't help me. I only got 3 successes.
Okay.
In this case, he's not actually masking. It's pretty clear he's trying to reassure Cyrene. That he was trying to make Cyrene feel trusted. And not for an act.
Yeah, okay. Good to know. Just wanted to check in on what's going on with my side.
So, we have seen evidence of mages in the area. You have this portal, which sounds for all the world like mage work.
Yes.
Zero, you and Madeline have not seen a war against mages. Not the way we have. The rest of us have fought up close recently.
It's pretty much the reason I left it where it was.
A wise choice. Very wise choice.
Indeed.
Well, listen, considering we were fighting against the establishment here, we didn't need another front.
I would consider finding evidence of where the nearest mage coven or whatever grouping they want to call, cabal, whichever grouping they want to call themselves. We need to find out where they are and figure out where not to step and where to, and if we can coexist or not.
Cyrene, do you remember anything of the information that you saw in regards to the mage in the bank?
So, for clarification's sake, there was no mage.
No,
in
like
the
mage
bank?
information. I just shortened
Okay.
the word.
If I am remembering correctly, Cyrene did not stay long enough to study it, just that she could tell this is mage iconography. No, thank you. We're getting out now before we trip anything else. Okay.
Correct. You saw things that indicated here there be mages, and you said, nope, not touching that, not getting anywhere near that, not messing around with it. We're leaving.
Makes
Okay.
the prayer. Do you
So-
think we could recreate the iconography we saw?
Oh, wise ST? Int and wits or
Give me an int in craft.
int and craft? All right, where is that channel? Bop, 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 bop. Roll, that's going to be 4 plus, okay, 5. 1. I'm not going to blood surge on this because I have a feeling we're going to get into way more difficult things. Three successes?
So with 3 successes, it's been nearly 6.5 months since you saw this particular iconography. It's not your best work, and you're likely fuzzy on some bits, but you get kind of the rudimentary idea down that these are mage wards. What they do, not really sure, but they are very similar to wards that you have seen around the city, just different.
Is it possible?
Yeah. Power word, law.
Yeah. Is it possible from the iconography to determine the school, the particular?
Yeah, I was about to ask. Can I, looking at the iconography, can I tell which sphere?
Or which tradition?
Yes.
Let me see here. We have so you can definitely tell that there are some of the iconography here corresponds with a group, a tradition known as the Celestial Chorus.
Well, more of a religious bent to their magic. Very familiar. Very well. We should be cautious. Make sure that they have been known to occasionally lend a hand to the Second Inquisition. But it's good to know that it's not marauder work or something more nefarious.
Yeah, well, like I said, we were busy dealing with the former prince and all the things that were established under her. This isn't school. I don't think you have to raise your hand.
I didn't want to interrupt.
You're fine.
Generally, mages don't like us because we used to be them, because we were Order of Hermes before we became Tremere, right?
That's correct. Also, there's been ongoing conflicts for centuries. The Masana War, the constant competition for claiming mystical resources. We have claimed sites that they wanted. It's more than just that we started them, but that is the origin of it.
Okay, just want to make sure I remembered my history lesson.
It's good to know. So let me say that we should probably keep an eye out for any other signs.
Yeah.
I put in your text thing a series of
Chat.
yes, a series of instructions that I would like everyone to follow. If you would be so kind, Did anyone have any questions about those?
I do have a question in regards to the person that we are not supposed to have any contact with or do even dealings with. I would like to know the reasoning at least.
I can explain some of that. She was at one time considered for membership amongst the Tremere. Her skill as a botanist and, well, for honestly, an alchemist was significant and was something that we would have needed in any chance. But she particularly had access to a formula that normally for humans produces a poison. For us, it would have been useful in the cure of a kindred disease. There are such creatures out there, diseases that affect us.
Are you
Terrible.
talking about the plague?
There are plagues, multiple. There are multiple diseases that affect us. But this one was hitting a particular Chantry, and the person who was trying to recruit her and get access to this was doing it so that she could help save some members of that Chantry.
All right.
At the last minute, she was turned by a pretty face, decided she didn't want to help the Tremere at all, even after getting embraced as a Toreador, and they still sought this formula so they could use it. She refused.
Did she give a reasoning?
Does it matter?
No, but it's still good to have a whole entire look at the situation.
Well, unfortunately, many of the people who were there are dead. But the last report we have is that she simply decided she didn't want to help. She is not welcome to services from the Tremere ever.
Understood.
Yes, sir.
Is it okay? I'm not asking to offer my services, but is it okay if I can ask her side of the story as well? I do like to have it from the source. Having it, knowing how the Tremere feel about it, is definitely going to take precedent, but I would also like to know from her side. Is that okay?
You're welcome to speak with her.
Okay.
But make it clear she is not to expect any services from us. And this is not going to change based off whatever story she tells you.
Understood. I do like just making sure that I have all the facts.
Of course. Any of the other elements of my rules that were difficult or not well understood? All right. Then I would ask each of you to follow those rules. Can you promise me that you will at least keep them in mind? I know situations come up, but I'm wanting you to promise to keep them in mind. This city has a history with our clan that is not good, and we need to be more cautious.
Many cities have bad history with Tremere. I'm not surprised that this city is not one of them.
Multiply what you face in other cities by about 20, and then you might get to the level Philly's at.
You speak with a lot of confidence.
Well, you can always look through the Chantry and find out for yourself.
We will go into that, but they broke a rule that we had agreed to at the beginning of the Camarilla. As a clan, we were supposed to have destroyed the means of generating more gargoyles as part of our joining the Camarilla. They dismembered people for their own experimentations. They were every bit as terrible as a Mangala. We do not have room to make these kinds of rash decisions. Those rules are there to keep us from having to deal with problems before they start.
Well, with that in mind, has higher up in the pyramid caught wind of this?
Why do you think I'm here?
I figured, but I'm asking, are they sending...
Why do you think
Others.
we're the only ones here?
I made deals to make sure that I and these people in this room are the ones to be trusted with this. We do not want to attract the Presidium. What they will do will be brutal, and I do not much care for it.
Okay, so we do not have to worry about the Presidium entering Philly right now?
For now.
For now.
For now.
Good. Okay.
This is the unfortunate truth we have to deal with. We carry the burden of the sins of our predecessors. Act accordingly.
I swear to follow the rules, Regent.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I shall promise to try my best as to follow the rules.
I see. Well, that said, I think we've covered the basics. We all know about what's going on with the plans. Any other matters to bring up before we start searching?
Oh, one of my code reads gave me another sample.
Oh, good. Excellent.
The plant has puss.
Us?
Puss
Yeah,
or
puss,
puss?
yeah.
Because that's a cat or...
We call them cats in America.
Yes.
I don't know. The plant attacked her in the basement of the church. I don't know, and she just carefully hands over the vial to Elm.
The vial does in fact contain this sickly, milky, yellow-green liquid that one would colloquially call pus.
Are the plants in Philadelphia ever going to not surprise me? We shall discover.
I'm guessing it's not going to smell nice if we open it up.
Don't.
I
Our
wasn't
previous
planning on opening it up.
experience with plants.
Yes.
No. Those
I was
have
just
been
asking.
taken to have pheromones.
Yes.
Sir, these
do
plants
affect
have been
kindred.
rather intoxicating. and
I
dangerous.
heard.
Okay.
So yes, no. Don't
I
go
don't know what
smelling
you're talking
it.
about. Pamela's fine. Just put on some.
Also,
I had no intention of opening it, Magister. I was just stating a comment about the likelihood that pus does not smell great.
I am sorry to assume that I have been accustomed to less than intelligent people in previous cities.
I assure you, I might look young and act young, but I am not young of mind when it comes to keeping myself safe.
That's very good to know.
also a A dinosaur was stolen from my coteries haven.
And
I'm
what now?
sorry, what?
Yes, I've been informed. Jerry, by the way,
I'm assuming.
We have a full T-Rex skeleton on display with real bones, and somehow someone came in about
Is
15
your haven a
minutes and stole a real
museum?
bone.
yes, it is a museum.
It's a museum.
I've, I've,
Start with that.
Mhm.
We were gone for like 2 hours, and someone stole some of the dinosaur bones.
I have begun the process of warding the location. I will finish it up. But
Also, there's a ghost.
yes,
Oh, those are not new to us.
Well, if you need help
Those
warding
are
the building,
surely-
let me know. I have experience with doing that here.
I appreciate it. I also have a certain amount of experience with that. As regards to Jerry, please do not abuse the privilege of having him around. He is a good lad and is perhaps overworked. So occasionally give him time to have a cup of tea and recover from the things that we share with him.
I should make him cookies.
You should. That would be lovely.
I mean, my own research assistant, but it's nice, to. It's a connection from Chicago, that whole branch of librarians.
Good. Absolutely. Were there any other matters?
One of our coder mates, and she'll gesture between her and Zero, ended up finding more plant stuff over insert location of the grave. It's the graveyard where Alicia was kidnapped last.
It's the same graveyard that the rest of the Mandragora have been found in. So, yep.
Okay. Yeah. Lots of pollen there, so don't know if it's leftover, if it's part of its, breeding cycle. Hopefully it doesn't grow
Probably
anything, but we
does.
should probably keep an eye on it.
Oh, yes.
It's probably both. So yes, do keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
Can you
Pollen can be very dangerous in this.
Can you give just a quick rundown on what these plants are, what they do, and how they gain nutrients, I suppose?
So the too long didn't read is that these plants have been feeding off of corpses in the church basement.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's what I
Uh,
thought I knew, but Zero did not. So I wanted to make sure that there was nothing I was missing above table.
The reports indicate that there is some base level sentience to the plant, and it will defend itself.
Makes sense.
That's why you have that nifty vial of pus.
Thank you, Ventru.
Yes,
I got a question. As out
Yes.
of character. But is indeed a mandragora, is not the other discipline that can create plants that absorb
These,
bodies and are used to hide bodies.
for all intents and purposes, these appear to be mandragora.
Okay. There is a discipline for that.
I'm still back on the. I know. I'm still stuck on the bank thing, and we're way past it. But were these
What
symbols that were
question?
put? What?
I was going to say, it sounds like you have a ton of questions, so you might as well just bullet point them, and I'll bullet point them back.
I was just going to ask, did it look like these wards were working in tandem with other wards in the bank? Or were they working in direct opposition?
Direct up. We had your standard Tremere wards and what have you, and these were over in their own area. So it's fast to say they knew ours were there, whether the former regent and his pack of cronies who put him up knew they were there. Well, anybody's guess.
And now we are seeing alternative realities going directly to kindred locations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that is not normally a school of magic a type of magic I would associate with stories of the celestial chorus.
Correct.
Time is not really their milieu.
Storyteller.
Yes.
Based on what I know about Mithras and based on what I know about mages, would the celestial chorus also work in tandem with cults that have to do with the sun?
I want you to give me an intelligence and occult. You can add your specialty. The difficulty will be high.
Okay. I'm going to also blood search then,
Okay.
and I am also going to use my first dot in blood ascetism, so I get another 2 die. And then would my descendant of Goratrix also give me 1 extra die? Would you allow it?
Not this one.
Okay, cool.
This will be the last roll that we do on this, though, because we do need to kind of pull things back into why we're here tonight.
Okay, no worries. All right, hunger unchanged, so that is 4 extra dice plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's 12 dice.
Impressive. Most impressive.
I'm built 0 to be really good. I'm going to spend a willpower to re-roll some of those.
Okay.
Because you said difficulty was high, so even though I got a decent amount of successes. Eight successes.
8 successes is a lot of successes. You know that most mages don't truck with kindred.
Yes. That's what I
That's
would
what
know.
you know.
Okay. Okay, that is just something I'm going to have to research then. Okay.
I would say, Zero, if you're interested in researching, and this goes for everyone. Magister Yara also keeps a library, a rather substantial one, of accounts from vampiric past. She may be able to assist you in any kind of research you want to do.
Sounds good. But yes, I just had to ask that one question. I'm fascinated when it comes to things as that sort of nature. But I do suppose we are all here for something else. Don't want to take up any more time.
So, we're here to begin investigating what our predecessors left here. I would prepare yourselves. Every account indicates that they are terrible.
So the group will begin in the first room that you had found behind the ornately carved behind the ornately carved puzzle door, what you see is a lab. Let me bring this up. This was likely one of the former Regent's main laboratories. Much of the equipment has already been removed. But unlike many of the other rooms in the Chantry, this room was kept the cleanest. It is likely that he did a lot of his work in this very room that wasn't necessarily ritual based. This is more of an academic lab, less a ritualistic lab.
Serene is going to reach into her bags, pull on the surgical gloves, hold out the box to anybody who wants some.
I'll get some.
I don't know if any of y'all do what I do, but better not to activate certain things.
So, those of us who will be investigating this room, please give me a resolve and investigation.
May I
favor.
add heightened senses?
If you have heightened senses, you may add your heightened senses. Yes.
Thank you.
ST,
Yes.
I have a question about a specialization.
What's up?
I have a specialty in deduction. How do you use it?
It will give you an extra die to your investigation.
Nice. Because some people demand that I do the role play of dissecting the points, so I was just asking.
I blood surged. I do not get hungrier.
Okay.
Same Z's.
How about that?
How I miss rolling this much dice.
With crit.
Nice.
How many again? I'm sorry.
6 with the crit.
Same.
Okay. 6 with a crit. 6 with a crit. We have 5.
That's why Islington and Alma make a good team.
One success.
Poor Cyrene.
Okay.
Cyrene's like, I don't want to look in here.
You do.
It makes sense.
You do
given
have that.
Sirene's state.
You do have that handy mulligan.
Intelligence, though. You called for resolve.
Yep.
That's fair. That's fair.
I think we all would have done better if it was an intelligence roll.
So we've got 1 success, 2 success, 4 success, 5.
No, I got a 5, not a 4.
Or 5 success, not a 4, and then 2 6s with a crit. So, starting with our 1 success, this is certainly a lab, all right.
Yeah, no, Serene is very uncomfortable, very much more focused on the dog by her side than looking around.
Zero, you have much the same impression. You're not able to glean anything extra than what you were able to find the last time you were in this room. However, Madeline, you catch on the air the distinct scent of vitae.
Like stored vitae or fresh vitae?
Like stored vitae.
Okay.
It leads you over to one of the walls of the laboratory. Islington, Alma, seeing where Madeline moves, you both know that Tremere, especially older Tremere, just love hiding things in their labs. And it is well within the realm of possibility that there is a secret little cubbyhole on this wall. Using Madeline as your bloodhound leads you to an area of the wall where the vitae smells the strongest. You can see the faintest outline of a seam on the wall that would indicate a small hidden cubbyhole. It does not appear to be warded, but it is very cleverly hidden.
For safety's sake, I will suggest everyone stand back and only one of us try to open this.
Maddie immediately takes like 3 big steps back.
I can open it.
Cyrene will reach into her bag. Pulls out a impressive side pocket knife and just holds it out to whoever's going to be undoing the seam.
After you. Alma. I
Cool
step
beans,
back,
I'm going to grab the knife.
and Islington will step back.
If it explodes, it explodes. Not my first time. I am going to try and pry the little thing open.
Okay. I'm not going to call for a roll on this one. As you slip the knife into the seam, you hear a faint click, and the panel sinks in and kind of slides to the side just a little bit. Enough that you could push the knife in further and slide the panel all the way to the side if you please.
I am pleasing.
Okay. As you slide open the panel, you see a rack of vials. These vials all seem to contain preserved vitae. They're labeled.
I knew it. I knew they were going to be labeled Vitae. Maddie moves closer.
Each of the vials contains what appears to be a label with a name on it.
It appears the previous regent has left a gift.
The
from
labels
people.
read Rhiannon, Aloysius, Michael, Ian, Gabriel. Where a 6th vial would have sat is an empty space. Beside the rack is a discarded label smudged in vitae. You can only make out 3 of the letters on this label. O-H-N.
Oh my. Regent?
I believe this is something that was best asked of Miss Leclerc, as you were here for the war and I wasn't. Do these names mean anything to you?
Cyrene will come closer. You said Rhiannon, Aloysius, Gabriel, Michael,
and Kian.
And the only one that isn't there
is an O-H-N.
It's missing a J though.
It is. I'm trying to. We never learned, I think, Burke's real name or anything, but she'll point to Aloysius's former Scourge, Michael's, the former Seneschal, Gabriel, the former Harpy. I'm assuming.
And Kian was the former sheriff.
Oh, go ahead.
Kian
And
was
that
the former
one,
sheriff. Yep.
Kian, former sheriff who got his head clean ripped off in our first mission.
So you got blood
This one.
samples preserved from the whole court.
Well, considering he taught them all blood sorcery.
Gives them insurance. Any thoughts, Zero?
Wait, you said all of them had blood sorcery?
Blood sorcery, gifts of other clans that were grafted into them that shouldn't have been. Oh yeah, Lynch was a sick fuck. And she walks out.
So we had a whole court in a city full of blood sorcery without. Almost gonna have a moment. Can I do a rage frenzy check?
Yeah, go ahead and give me a rage frenzy check.
This is inconceivable in her mind. It's like, no,
Oh
No.
boy.
no.
Give me give me a
Rage-
composure resolve and 1/3 of your humanity rounded down.
It is a what? I'm sorry.
I'm gonna
It's-
change and say start to leave the room.
It's composure, resolve, and 1/3 humanity rounded down.
1/3 humanity. No hunger dice. Hunger dice.
No hunger dice. No. Frenzy
It's
checks don't
been-
have any hunger dice.
Almost a year that I've been
It's okay.
You're good.
doing
It's
this.
been almost a year, and we're throwing you back in the deep end.
Yes. So does crit count?
Crits do count.
So it's a 6. I am
Okay.
calm, coolly collected like a cucumber with having a
You,
mental breakdown inside.
your beast is incensed. It demands satisfaction. It demands those that broke the taboos be punished. But you are able to keep a lid on it. You're able to kind of stuff that rage back down and lock the door on it.
Regent, I would like to have a word with you later on
Of course.
about these people, these names, and
It
the
should be
blood
said.
samples we
It should be said that the prior Tremere and the city are dead. The people
Yes,
who did
but
this,
seemingly are not Tremere.
the Tremere here, are dead.
Yes, but these ones in the sample, are they also dead, or they're roaming about with blood sorcery in their hands?
They're dead.
They're
All
dead.
of them?
They're dead. Nathaniel killed the sheriff by ripping his head off. John put Aloysius in the ground by his own hands. The prince is gone. Gabriel, we, decided to liquefy his lungs with holy water through a hookah. And Michael Well has been taken care of.
And the
They are
last
gone
mystery
and they
name.
are dead.
Zero's gonna very quietly, while like everyone's like having their moment, just kind of scooch on over to the vials. Does he? It's just pure vitae, or is there something in like that could be that's also in the vials with the vitae?
It does. You would be aware that there are ways that the Tremere can preserve certain things.
Mm-hmm.
For all intents and purposes, these look to be preserved vials of vitae.
Does this look like they are preserved vials of vitae that have been used in the past to do certain things and then put back after they've been preserved? For example, in case like there has been like scrying done via vitae.
It does not look like these samples have been used.
Okay.
We do have a missing sample, and Alma wants to know if that one is also dead.
To be clear, I have no clue who it is.
Well, let's
I can
find
give
it
you
out, shall we?
guesses, but I have no clue who it is.
It should
And
be
if it's
in-
who I think I'm guessing, they're the one who made sure all this got put to bed.
Okay. Would you care to share your suspicion then?
Zero has scooted away as someone who also should not have blood sorcery and is continuing to search the continuing to search the lab while the actual Tremere have a talk, and he's like, "This is not my conversation. I feel unsafe in this room. I'm gonna continue looking."
Cyrene will take a breath. It is not needed, but it is clear they are centering themselves. They are not mad at anybody in the room, but at what this room has stood for and the people who did things in it. She points to the vials. Bark's brood. Y'all are
That
smart
does
enough to
not-
figure out who survived out of that brood.
I am not. I don't know. That does not
I'm
answer
sorry.
any of my questions at all.
I figured, okay, sorry, I don't know who has gotten the TLDR or not here.
I know who has.
And who?
Well, Burke was the former prince, and John was her child.
John started the war against her. John
So what
heard
you mean
of
is that
her-
your suspicion is that the current prince, John Saxton,
Wasn't he in
If
has
Florida
blood sorcery.
when this? Wasn't he in Florida when all the crazy stuff started happening though?
That is my
Yes.
The-
By process of
bullshit.
elimination, I'm figuring they smashed it when he came down and wasn't a part of the plan anymore.
Yes, and it's just, I suspect that this plan started long before he left, and that's why. They
Oh,
had
it
to-
did. I mean, it did.
Very well.
Now, Zero, since you've been a beatboxing blueberry, you come across another door that was hastily hidden behind a half-bare bookshelf. These books don't seem to be anything of real value to your search. They are older medical journals, anatomy books, things of that nature. Mundane books, nothing magical. But behind the bookshelf that slides rather easily is a large steel door. And to tell you what you find behind that large steel door, I would like to bring in a special guest.
It's Ryan.
Is someone staked in the wall?
Hello, Kindred.
Do I finally get to
Now.
Hi,
Okay,
storyteller.
okay.
I have a special surprise for you that I'm going to read off as a rather in-depth description for what exactly you find at and behind this door.
Hell yeah.
That being said, I do need you guys to kind of ready yourselves because we went deep into the horror weeds for this one.
Yes, I get to see the horror. Fuck the frick yes.
The room is sealed by a heavy vault door that locks from the outside, creating an oppressive and an inescapable atmosphere. The door's thick metal construction suggests that whatever is inside is meant to stay there, no matter what. Inside, the dim light reveals a haunting tableau. Mannequins eerily arranged as if attending a gathering or something similar to a doll's tea party. Their lifeless eyes staring blankly into the void. Each mannequin is positioned with unsettling precision, as if frozen in mid conversation, adding to this surreal and disturbing ambiance. In one corner lies a mattress directly on the floor. Devoid of any proper bed frame or support, it is covered by a torn and dirty crocheted blanket, far too small for an adult, its once vibrant colors now dulled by grime and neglect. Atop of that sits a filthy teddy bear, missing one eye, slumped lifelessly, a remnant of an innocence corrupted by the room's squalor. The bear's remaining eye seems to follow you, adding an uncanny sense of being watched. The walls, once painted in now faded pastel hue, are marred with deep claw marks, evidence of a desperate struggle. The marks vary in depth and intensity, telling a silent story of frantic attempts to escape. These scratches, combined with the unsettling arrangement of the mannequins, create a narrative of madness and despair that hangs heavy in the stale, stank air. Someone, or perhaps something, most definitely dwelt in this place. But just what could possibly survive without any clear source of food? Every detail in the room, from the vault door to the smallest piece of debris, completes an atmosphere of profound unease, leaving an inedible impression of dread and melancholy. It creates an aura of despair so intense that oblivion would be a welcome respite from it.
What do you say that the previous regent was cooking up?
My God, that thing's gargoyles.
Hey, storyteller.
I need to know.
Yes.
Zero making that noise.
No, 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 no. He is not happy. He is walking
Doug-
in and
Doug-
he is looking. Nico is ecstatic.
The character is not acting that way, is what I needed to know. It would have affected the rest of this scene.
No, Zero is not in fact giggling with glee. That is me. Zero does, with a gloved hand, does walk in, running his hands over the wall, reaching down and picking up the bear, looking it over.
Now, I'm going to pause you there because, Cyrene, you had something.
Would this be where she had seen either in the vision with Q or his sister? Would this have been one
This
of the rooms that
was-
she'd seen, like after what happened with the wings?
This was one of the rooms that you saw in the visions of Mo, the gargoyle. Yes. It is safe to assume that this was the room they kept Mo in.
Okay. If the other Tremere have all gone in, Cyrene is not with you.
No, Islington doesn't go in. He stands at the entrance and looks. And
Maddie tries to slip past her side to go in if he doesn't stop her.
he will stop her.
Dang it.
Am I the only one that's in this room?
No,
Seems to be.
Alma would be going in at the same time. She's going to hug herself like she's looking into the past. Because this seems like a children's room. And wow.
Zero is just kind of feeling everything, touching everything, looks at the bear, kind of just brushes the bear's hair kind of back before he places it down on the bed, folds the blanket. Gonna look at all of the different mannequins. Now I must ask, do these mannequins resemble possible people that Zero has run into?
No, these are
Okay.
your standard department store mannequins dressed in different ratty attire. Yes.
From watching from the door and using Sense the Unseen, do I see anything that stands out?
Not from the doorway, no.
Okay. I don't think it would be safe in there. Mr. Zero, Alma, be very careful.
Can Maddie do a heightened senses kind of awareness look, since Islington won't let her look inside and investigate it?
Sure. Go ahead and give me a resolve and awareness. You can add your heightened senses.
May I add my specialty for awareness hidden concealed objects?
I'll allow it.
Okay, I'm gonna blood search for this one.
Okay.
Is there any ash on the ground?
I'm hungrier.
To answer your question, Zero, no, there is no ash on the ground, but there is a fair amount of dust.
Is there blood on the ground?
There might be. Nothing obvious.
No stains or anything, just dust like an empty room.
Like this room has stood empty for, let's see, we've got 8 successes. Nope, 7 successes.
I counted.
Okay.
I put my finger wrong.
7 successes. You don't see anything hidden. As a matter of fact, all you see is what looks like someone's only world. A place where someone was kept for a great long time in isolation.
Really glad I don't have Spirit's touch. I don't want to touch anything.
There's a reason Cyrene passed out gloves.
Madeline just kind of stands there for a moment, unfocused, as she tries to like sense in the room. I don't think there's anything hidden in there. It's just really sad.
It's very sad. And I suspect that there are a tremendous weight of sins on its walls. Those who can read by touch should not go in that room, I think. Not if they want to continue having their mind intact.
Her name was Mo.
Mo? Was.
Mo. Q. Angel. She escaped. But she couldn't live with leaving them behind. And Serene is crying, like blood tears at this point.
Islington will reach into his vest pocket and pull out a handkerchief and hand it to her. There is no shame in this.
She'll take it.
Cyrene, in your heightened state of emotion, in your heightened emotional state, you hear a soft voice in the back of your mind. A pastel pink soft voice that sings a song. On pins and needles, we are waiting for the fall. We count the days, scratching lines on a wall. wait in the wings at someone's beck and call. No longer recognize the place that I call home. No longer recognize this face as my own. Somewhere, this fate, I've lost control. And the voice fades.
Yeah. Sounds about right, Sandy. As she starts wiping up the tears.
Sorry. You knew these people.
Yes, sir.
What would you have us do with this room?
There's no way to make it better. It shouldn't be forgotten either, so people don't remember them. If you don't remember, that's how things like this happen again, right?
Indeed.
Why not have our own shrine? Open the place up, take away the steel door. Line the walls with those we've forgotten. So they're not forgotten.
Makes Claire decide what happens to this room.
Of course. I just was offering a suggestion.
It's not a bad suggestion. But you knew these people. None of us did.
New is a strong word when you see what happens to him through a memory.
I know.
Memories are what make people people. Take away memory and they're only an idea.
Oh, the death of memory is the most evil thing that can be forced on someone. It is not unheard of in our circles, and it's always monstrous.
To lose memory? Or to lose memory of something?
To lose your identity.
So, I mean, is it
She'll
okay?
gesture. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
You first.
No, you go ahead. You.
They'll walk in and very, very gently gesture to the bear and the folded blanket. I should get in contact with Alicia, see if maybe Q would like a piece of his sister back.
Indeed.
Can't give him back the sky or anything, but we can give him a piece of family.
The rest of you all right. This is a lot.
I'm all right.
I'm fine.
There is no shame in taking time to process something like this.
This is a place that, was someone's whole life. I understand it. And I'm all right.
Madeline actually starts to get like she's getting a little bit upset.
Mama hasn't moved from the middle of the room where she's standing.
Now would be a good time to check in with our players. Remember our safety tools. How are we feeling?
I feel like Zero's the only one that's
Good.
fine.
I'm good. My character is not.
Madeline's about to say something.
Isn't is a little closer to. He's seen some horrors in the world. Yeah, long before he became a vampire, so it's a little different for him, but he's not happy He's just keeping it contained, like a proper Englishman should.
Yeah.
That room was heavy. The next room stands to be heavier still,
Oh boy.
Yay!
because there is another heavy steel door opposite corner to where this door sat.
Regent, if you don't mind, I feel like you all need a moment to take in what is here. I can go ahead and look inside this next room, and I will report back to you what I see, so that way...
No,
Body
you
system.
will, indeed. You will have company, either myself, Alma, or Mix Claire.
I do believe, based on reactions from this room, you and I might be best to go in.
Very well. Everyone else, please stand outside. It's all right.
And Zero's going to open the door and step inside with Islington.
All right, on to our next Chamber of Horrors.
Alma has not moved.
Maddie's gonna cautiously try to put her arm around Alma, even though she looks upset herself.
It looks like she's not there anymore.
Inside this door, you find a rough-hewn stone room. Remnants of a dark and macabre past linger in the air, casting an eerie and foreboding atmosphere. The room is filled with what could be considered various clues and artifacts, hinting at sinister rituals and forbidden knowledge. The walls of the chamber are uneven and rough, carved directly from the stone, exuding a cold, oppressive aura. The air is thick with the stench of decay and a metallic tang of old blood, intermingling with a faint hint of something chemical and acrid. Shadows dance across the wall, cast by flickering light, giving the room a living, breathing quality that unnerves even the bravest of souls. The majority of one wall is dominated by what look to be the remains of 3 large wooden casks with what seem to be some sort of dried something, skin, leather of some kind hanging above. The casks have been burst outward. Across the floor is a sticky, putrid residue that clings to your shoes with every step.
Regent,
Do I know what this is?
I figured I know what it is.
Go ahead and give me an int and occult.
Can I...
Would my specialty in blood sorcery apply?
Yes.
Can I do that?
You're not in the
Are
room
you
and you're having a
are you going?
flashback.
Are you going in the room?
Madeline brought me.
We said to stay back,
No,
Madeline!
Madeline took you away from the door to where the room was. We're now just in the lab, and I'm just rubbing your shoulders.
Cool. Then I'm not seeing that because Jesus.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
no.
one more.
Can I
Cyrene
roll
would
and
have
also get that
gone
extra
forward.
dice?
Okay. So the 3 of you go ahead and give me an int and occult. If you have blood sorcery, you can add that.
Oh, no, I'm asking about the descendant.
Yes.
Yeah, I know what this is. I need Zero to connect the dots.
I'm going to take a picture.
Okay.
How many?
Did you get a
times-
crit?
I was gonna.
Ooh, I also blood blood rose and did not get hungrier. I'm having a good night tonight. I swear to
Don't
God,
jinx it,
Dicebot.
Nico.
I swear to God, Dicebot. Don't
Where
give
are
me
you
just
posting
2
the picture? I
successes.
want to see the picture.
I will post it in the
3,
Tremere session coordination Discord
7,
so everybody can see it.
8, 10.
Will 4 make it?
Yep, that will make it.
Okay.
All right. 6 successes. Can
I-
Zero connect the dots
Press
like
off.
Nico has?
I have 10 with a double crit.
So the difficulty was 4. This is the remains of the ritual that created gargoyles.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that.
You are
Yeah, I figured that.
in the room where it happened.
I don't want to be in the room where it happened.
I am not in the room where.
Zero will walk in and just start
Hey.
examining the runes and look at everything, studying it.
Hey, ST.
Yes.
Are those what I think they are on the walls?
The things hanging above the casks.
Yeah, are those cues?
No. Go ahead and give me an intelligence and science.
Intelligence and science. Would my biology specialty come into play or no?
Yes.
It would? Okay, cool.
You were way too happy to say yes.
There is such a thing as knowing too much.
Mm-hmm. No, you don't want to know what that is, but
Here we are.
here we are.
We are Tremere. We're an inquisitive lot.
We kind of always know too much, and that's our sin.
Yep.
Yeah, Zero has a feeling he knows what those are, so he's not looking because he kind of knows this ritual.
Another 4 successes.
Cyrene, you can see that those are the dried remains of cow uterus hanging from the ceiling. It's
Yeah,
what they would have been sewn
transmutation.
into.
Yep. I don't need more than that. I figured once you said what it was.
Is there any
Cyrene just
paper?
looks at this.
What's up?
Are there any papers or books in the room?
Let's see here. Oh, yes. There are, as a matter
no.
of fact.
Oh no. Oh no.
As you look around the room, you see a series of tables arrayed with a variety of sinister implements. Among them, you find a censer, jars of viscous liquids, sharp, gleaming tools, and on one of the tables rests a book, seemingly bound in crimson leather. The cover bears an intricate and disturbing sigil. If you would like to give me an intelligence and occult to see if you recognize.
Same specialty apply?
Can
Yes.
I, because I'm also looking around, do the same thing
Yes.
and also add the die?
You're going to add 2.
Oh, ooh! Yay!
I got 8.
Yeah, no. Cyrene is more transfixed by the room of foreigners.
Wait, why do I get? Wait, all of a sudden, wait, why do I get 2? I got too excited. 4 successes.
Yeah, I got 8. Also,
Okay.
knowing what I have read in the past, does this look familiar?
Oh, it certainly does.
Okay.
This is the sigil of House Goratrix.
Oh, that's why I get 2. Got it. Heard. Yes. No, not sorry.
Zero, you do recognize it. The difficulty was lower for you since, reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But no, you both recognize this as a book that potentially might have even belonged to Goratrix himself.
God,
Islington will walk over and grab the book.
When you grab the book, nothing happens. It is, for all intents and purposes, a book.
He is not opening it up. He is putting it in his satchel, and he's closing the satchel.
Okay.
Zero is following what you're doing with his eyes, but he's not saying anything.
There are some things, while I will not destroy knowledge, does not necessarily mean it needs to be shared. I have encountered the works of that man. I have faced it with my mind. You do not want it.
Cyrene.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me a wits and intelligence, please.
Can do.
Zero is saying nothing because that is his regent. But he is saying nothing.
Yeah,
Smart
that's
move.
your regent.
Smart move.
He got to be a caitiff that's over 200 because he's smart.
I don't think 2 is going to meet it, so I am going
Would
to spend
you-
some willpower here.
You can either spend some willpower or you can use your mulligan.
I'm going to use my mulligan. I will do my reroll with my mulligan because
You got a
What is
mulligan?
a mulligan?
yeah.
Someone picked up an interesting resonance this evening on their hunt.
Fun. Okay, first of all, Zero saying nothing, it's more likely than you think, okay?
Okay.
4.
Cyrene, you remember hearing the stories of this city's difficulties with the Sabbat over the years. Perhaps this is a holdover from the city's darker days.
The book or the room in general?
The book, the room. It's a very real possibility that, given what Cyrene knows about the occult and
Yeah.
the stories that she has read in the Signora's library, this book is likely the very reason why Lynch went down the dark road he went down.
Yeah, plus, yeah. 0. It's the city. The modern Sabbat gained a foothold here for quite a long time and did a lot of horrible things. Left a lot of horrible secrets behind. Stands to reason someone wanting to know more about their past maybe found it. Instead of deciding to be better, realized it could give them a leg up on the competition, as it were. And it led to a lot of suffering. A lot of Nosferatu dying in their warrens, being burned out by Tremere. By Tremere taking ritual knives and scarring people to where they can't speak no more. To gargoyles running around and dying and being tortured again. So I suggest you think before trying to grab that book.
Was this directed at Islington or was this directed at Zero?
That was directed at Zero because she was watching him ping pong with his eyes.
Okay.
Okay. Because while Cyrene was yelling at him, she would have noticed that he had not stepped closer to the book.
I have encountered a book written by Goatrix himself in the past. If my mind were not protected at the time, it would have sent me on a dark road.
Madeline,
Yes,
please give
ST?
me please give me a resolve and awareness. Add your heightened senses.
Uh-huh. I can do that. Oh, let's see what this comes up with.
Cyrene was not being quiet. It was a very loud yell.
Whew,
Oh no, this is
barely dodged a messy crit there, thankfully. That would be 4 successes.
you heard everything that happened in that room. Not just the yelling, but everything else.
Noted. I'm just gonna stay in my alma and wait for everyone to come out of the room.
There is another passageway that leads deeper into the underground.
Zero, you have been doing an excellent job as leading the exploration. Would you like to continue?
He looks over at
Before they-
Cyrene.
Cyrene will take a breath and grab that necklace she wears that holds that they almost look like dark crystals with like flecks of gold through them, but it's not quite crystal. And mumble what can be considered a prayer under her breath in a mixture of Latin and Italian.
What did you say? I know both of those.
As do I.
It would
I
be
just
something,
recently know both of those.
yeah, it would be something akin to, because I haven't written out all of her prayers, but it was one that she did say during the resistance days. But it would be, may darkness hide our steps, may the mountain shield us, and Cain lead the way forward.
Can Maddie make it a cult roll while listening in on this on what the frick that means?
Sure, you can make a roll.
Okay, would that be intelligence in a cult?
Yeah, we'll call it intelligence and occult.
Okay, let's see if the baby Twimia knows anything.
While you're rolling, I have a conclusion for this room. The gargoyle room is a stark reminder of the lengths to which some will go in their pursuit of power and forbidden knowledge. Every artifact and residue in this chamber tells a story of dark rituals and unspeakable practices. The crimson-bound book of House Goatrix seems to be the key to understanding this room's true purpose, potentially revealing secrets that should perhaps remain buried. For those who dare to uncover them, the room offers both knowledge and a dire warning of the costs associated with the blind pursuit of power. Your roll, Madeline.
3 successes.
Yeah, Cain is kind of a big deal with some kindred.
Okay.
With the regent telling him to press forward, he does give a glance back to Cyrene of just a look, and then he will press forward and go into the next room.
Okay.
Mm.
The
She'll just look at him and say, "More things on heaven and earth," and follow.
next room, while still that rough-hewn stone, is set up more like a conventional lab. There are power cables that run into it. There is, in the center of the room, a large glass cylinder, partially filled with an opaque liquid that now has a milky, unsettling appearance. Suspended within this liquid are the remains of a humanoid creature. The creature has a large, bulbous head and gray skin, its lifeless form preserved in a state of macabre stasis.
Zero will press forward and continue looking around. He has been this entire time pretty unfazed, and he is still looking and searching.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a wits and awareness as you walk up to the glass cylinder.
Eric, I wish I had your wits and awareness. I'm gonna blood surge.
Okay.
Do I get an extra die because of my sheet?
No.
Okay. I'm still not hungry.
You're doing really well so far, bud.
I know. I've blood surged. I have not needed to feed at all. I'm gonna re-roll those 3 failures.
Okay.
2 successes.
Not a problem. See, this one had a sliding difficulty. As you draw closer to the glass cylinder, you realize why the liquid is at such a low level. Sitting just above the liquid's surface is a hole. Looks as though it were punched through with something roughly the size of a 9mm bullet. But from the angle you're standing at, you look up and see between the eyes of the corpse suspended in the tank is a matching hole, charred around the edges. It looks as though somebody stood and held a pistol at the tank and dispatched the creature inside from outside of the tank. Would anyone else like to investigate the glass cylinder before we move on to the other horrors that this room has to hold?
Get an Alma.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What do I roll for it?
Go ahead and give me 2 seconds while I pull this up. So I'm flicking between several different screens. Go ahead and give me an intelligence and occult, please.
Oh, I wish I had that roll.
And occult.
Yes.
I am going to blood search. I lost my dice. I'm rolling a new one.
Instead of being here for the cult
got
stuff,
hungry.
we're here for the occult stuff.
Always.
Me is hungry.
So,
If it's occult, And if this is what I think it is, I have a specialty in rituals. Can I use it?
I'll allow it.
Yes. Nice. Oh. Huh. Okay. Good news. That's an 8.
Okay.
Bad
News.
news. It's a massacre.
Hey, buddy.
And there it is.
Okay.
Would you?
Well,
So, would you like to use a willpower to try to get out of that messy crit? You can re-roll one of those 10s.
Let's try.
I think you should have kept it.
I lost the dice. We're rolling again.
Quit helping. Quit helping.
It did not work.
yes. Come into the room with me, Alma. We're at the tank.
So,
Yes. Lead Alma to a barely developed child.
you would
After all.
recognize this individual, this corpse, as the remains of a chimera, specifically a sniffer, the kind of chimera that is used to refine alchemical ingredients.
That's cruel.
Oh yeah.
That's very cruel.
While you process and synthesize that information, Islington, Cyrene, Madeline, as our token high humanity Tremere, there are two things I would like you to tell me. One, how does it feel to be in this den of despicable practices? And two, how do you feel about your clanmate Zero's apparent callousness to the horrors that lay around him? We'll start with Islington.
I can let y'all go if you have it, and then I'll go last.
Yeah, we'll start with Islington.
So, anyone who gets to know him really well knows that Islington is sad and angry a lot about things going on in the world. Tries to find peace and everything. But Maddie has actually felt his emotions when she was a ghoul. He feels guilt, he feels anger, he feels sadness a lot of the time. Being very humane in a world that demands him be a monster. And he tries to hide it a lot of the time. And he's really successful most of the time. But he recognizes when you're not hiding that you're not horrified. He recognizes it. And yeah, so for Islington, this is a red flag about Zero. This is not the actions of somebody who understands the emotional implications of what's going on, the moral implications, and therefore he is become more dubious of Zero.
Understandable. Cyrene.
So, well, easy enough to answer how she is feeling. Cyrene has had visions of Lynch teaching the others. She went through Akuma's memories and had to experience his Sabbat training. She felt what happened to Mo and to Q, and it is a culmination of sadness that there are so many people that have been hurt by just a select few, and despair that this is still here, and a righteous anger to want to burn this place down and just salt the earth and never come back.
Okay.
and looking at Zero, just detached after she has tried to explain what has happened, does not do the warm fuzzies. And I think
Understandable.
looking at this creature, Cyrene doesn't disturb the two who are studying it, but she'll move to a spot where she can look at it, and because her sire was Roman Catholic and she studied religions as part of her sociology training, just kind of start reciting different funeral rites to kind of to try and grant it some peace.
It is quite clear that this corpse has been here for a while, likely since just before Lynch's death. But we will return to you momentarily, because Madeline, poor sweet Tremere Bebe.
Madeline's really upset. It's one thing being told something, it's another thing to see it and not fully experience it, but she's kind of experiencing it just empathetically. She's really upset. Like, she's proud of her clan. Like, Tremere have some pretty cool stuff going on. She's finally a kindred now, and she was ghoul for a long time. This is her clan, but her sire told her about the horrors that her clan does, especially in the city, that they're here to atone for and clean up. And she's furious that how could people do this? How could they let knowledge get ahead of basic decency and morals? And she's not happy to see that Zero is treating this like a detached scientist. And if I'm allowed, I'd like to roleplay a little bit of an emotional outburst with Madeline, because she's feeling all these feelings as a baby Tremere. Or do you
We'll
want to
allow
ask
it.
Irene first?
I'll allow it.
Okay. Madeline just kind of takes in the scene and is just kind of processing her feelings. And she just kind of stamps her foot, a little bit childlike, and has her fists clenched. How could our clan fall so far that they let knowledge come before anything else? Is this what it is? So this is why everyone hates the blood warlocks, is it? I'm finally getting to see it. Just we're monsters who just take people because we want to try things on them, and the pursuit of experimentation and furthering knowledge of whatever thing we're researching. This is what people think of us. No wonder people hate us. This is what they did. And she just is kind of rambling, and she's breathing heavily, even though she doesn't need to, because she's still getting used to that. And it's just kind of fists clenching as she's trying to emotionally process this horror that she's encountering.
While Maddie is processing, Cyrene, you started moving away from the glass tube, and you bump into an office chair.
Yeah.
An old wooden style office chair in the corner. Do you turn to see what you bumped into? In this old style wooden office chair.
Yeah, she's just kind of...
Yep. In this old wooden style office chair, it begins to spin. And you see a slumped body. Likewise, with that single charred hole in the center of its forehead, its mouth hangs open, and inside you can see what appear to be the vestigial nubs of fangs.
A thin blood.
The brand on its cheek is obvious and clear. This was a thin blood.
Zero, now done looking at the thing in the jar, kind of turns around to continue looking around. Does he see that?
He would see Fennec, or he would see Cyrene standing next to, a dead body kind of in a chair.
Okay. He'll walk over and start examining it.
Go ahead and give me an intelligence and science.
I'm guessing my specialty doesn't really apply here.
Correct.
Okay. Intelligence and science. I'm gonna blood surge just for the heck of it, and then do I get an extra die because of the lore sheet or nah?
No.
Okay.
ST is Almond still standing on in front of the thing?
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't know what part of the messy got messy, or is just catatonic.
Yes. You
Okay.
are stunned into immobility.
Can I
You
have
are
a psychotic
practically
reaction
catatonic.
to what Maddie said?
I am going to say that the result of your messy crit is
There we go.
catatonia.
Okay. So no
You are just
reaction.
there, stark still as a statue. In your mind, however, you are replaying over and over and over again the horrific things that you experienced in your life.
If I was not catatonic, she would be laughing like a maniac at Maddie's words.
And
A
an
maniac.
endless loop, a private hell.
Tree.
0. You've seen some things in your time. One of the main things that you have seen is this is it looks as though an incendiary round was used here. Something that was not just a standard bullet, but burned the brain out from the inside after it pierced the skull.
Mhm.
This was a violent, messy, and painful end.
Cyrene is wearing the gloves, so very, very gently. Are there, I'm assuming, open? Just very, very gently, out of respect, kind of fold the arms and just say very softly, I hope wherever you are is more peaceful than here. We'll find a place for you that's calm, away from this.
Zero then steps away and is going to continue looking around the room.
The presence of alchemical tools nearby suggests this Duskborn was assisting Lynch in his experiments, likely using their rudimentary skills to handle volatile substances and perform preliminary alchemical procedures. The rest of the room is filled with standard laboratory equipment, some alchemical processing equipment. You find a variety of glassware that is used to distill, mix, carry various agents and reagents. Workbenches are cluttered with tools and materials, including syringes, scalpels, and vials containing unidentifiable substances. Many of these tools are stained and show signs of extensive use. There are intricate alchemical apparati scattered across the benches, including beakers, burners, distillation coils. These devices indicate that advanced alchemical processes were regularly performed here. Scattered around the room are numerous documents and handwritten notes. While many are stained and damaged, some contain legible details about Lynch's experiments, describing the methods he used to create Chimera and the dark purposes they served.
He's going to read them over. And then once he reads them over, he is going to hand them off to Islington.
Take them and put them in his bag. Thank you very much. All right. Are there any other doors, or is this the end of the hall?
This is the end of the line, as it were.
All right. Well, Miss Leclerc.
Yes, sir.
Miss Leclerc, because I know that you understand the full weight of everything, I will put you in charge, and Zero will assist you. Destroy everything in this lab. Not one thing bigger than a thimble should exist when you're done. Every surface scrubbed, every single piece of this room should be cleansed. Nothing remains.
Yes, sir. We'll make sure it doesn't affect the environment or anything when we dispose of it.
Among other things, suffering tends to attach things, spirits, to items. We've seen this before. And if you destroy all of the items, it will reduce the chance of us being haunted by this beyond our own consciences, at least. I was sent here with an impossible task. Redeem the Tremere in this city. There's no redemption for this. We will do our best.
Zero gives a nod to Islington, and he just kind of watches Maddie.
Yes.
Oh no, I was gonna wait to see what AJ did, and that kind of will go for my
Okay.
next choice.
Madeline looks up at Islington. May I be excused, Regent?
Actually, if you will help me get Alma out of this room, she seems to have reacted poorly. And I could use the assistance of getting her out of this room.
Of course. And she goes over, gently takes one of Alma's hands and tries to lead her out of the room.
And
You
Islington.
touch her?
Well, Islington.
Yes. If Islington doesn't
She-
stop me.
How lost am I, Einer?
You would be gone enough that they could lead you from the room.
Okay, but I'm not gonna recoil to them
Nope.
touching. Okay.
I still also got the gloves on, so
That's not the problem. The problem is what she's been through.
that's fair. Poor girl.
Yes, he will lead Alma and Maddie out, leaving Serene alone in that room.
As we close out our scene, I leave you with the conclusion of the Chimera Room. The Chimera Room stands as a testament to Lynch's depravity and willingness to push the boundaries of science and magic. The central glass cylinder, suspended chimera, and the dead thin blood stand as a stark reminder of the violent ends met by Lynch's creations. The body of the Duskborn in the corner, with its stunted fangs and alchemical tools nearby, reveals the length to which Lynch went in his pursuit of forbidden knowledge, using lesser kindred to assist in his gruesome tasks. The laboratory, with its standard equipment twisted to dark purposes, serves as a chilling reminder of the horrors that took place within these walls. And with that, we will call a merciful end to this special session of Philly by Night. Remember, folks, we may play monsters, but that does not mean we need to become them. Have a good night, and thank you for joining us in this sad story.